This looks good. With the crappy weather, it looks like a good day for curling up on the sofa to read. Care to join me? Diary of a Confessions Queen by Kathy Carmichael. Chapter 1. My husband took out the garbage and never came back. Karma is as karma does. It's what Nana, my grandmother who raised me, always said. Her intentions were kindly. They always were. She strove to find ways to help me feel good about myself. So my basic inner confusion isn't her fault. I should have kept karma in mind that morning. Everything was going well. Too well. As I stepped out my front door and headed for my mailbox on the street, dew twinkled in the April morning sunlight like faux diamonds on the Queen Neela's tiara. I looked up the curving road, and a shocking silence reverberated. All was still on my small street, and my elderly neighbor, Mrs. Mitchell's lace curtains, didn't twitch as they usually did when she's home, watching for something to talk about. I earned my living by writing short stories for True Lies, a confessions magazine. Sue Ann, my best friend, insists I have enough Catholic guilt. I'll confess to almost anything, and I suspect she's right. My True Lies editor was about to go on maternity leave, and my source of income would at least temporarily dry up. Imagine my excitement when I checked my mailbox to learn she'd bought 8 confessions from me in advance. What a relief! I desperately needed the money. My house was about to go into foreclosure. The house Dan bought for me, for us when we got married. I had 60 days to pay, or I would risk hell and brimstone in the hereafter. I simply could not lose our home. It had been 7 years since Dan disappeared, and I had no other choice than to put the wheels in motion to have him declared permanently out of print. That morning, Sue Ann's attorney husband, Ron, assured me I would have the insurance proceeds in time to save my home. Now, most people probably aren't as worried about facing the hereafter as I am, but they don't share my past. My parents were devout Catholics. 2 days before my confirmation, when I was 13 and it was the main focus of my life, my parents were involved in a fatal auto accident. I was distraught. Not only had I lost my folks, but I never was confirmed. Instead, I went to live with Nana, who didn't believe in such nonsense. She was a spiritualist and believed in a totally different set of nonsense. Or not. As a result, I'm basically totally confused about the hereafter and have one leg firmly planted in each realm. The good news that day was I no longer had to worry about burning in hell for losing Dan's home. The bad news was that neither my parents nor Nana had visited from the eternal divide to let me know one way or the other. I expected better from Nana. Since the people I loved had a way of going to their spiritual reward, or just plain disappearing like Dan, I recently decided it had something to do with the law of attraction. By concentrating on my losses, I attracted more loss. It had taken me a while, but I came up with a new affirmation. I attract people into my life who stay. As I picked my barefooted way back up the graveled drive toward my front door, I glanced at the redbud tree I planted when Dan and I moved in. Its bare limbs were a tangled puzzle, and I willed it to hurry up and bloom. The next good thing to happen that morning was that when I went to get dressed, I found a $20 bill stuffed into my ill-fitting wonder bra. I vaguely remembered wondering where the money had gone to a year ago, so now I knew. Another new affirmation. I attract money into my life to stay. Feeling as if I was on a roll, I tried on my too tight jeans, and they fit perfectly. I could even bend and sit without causing my fallopian tubes to screech in protest. There was edible food in my refrigerator, and, to top it off, I wasn't out of toilet paper after all. Incredible, exceptionally good karma. So, when I saw the corner of a crisp white envelope peeking out from a stack of books on the coffee table, I pulled it out. There was my name, Amanda Crosby, written in block print. It bore no address or postmark, so it hadn't come in the mail. When I turned in my story, Diary of a Teenage Psychic, which was retitled by my editor. I don't know what it is about my titles, but she changes all of them, too. I can read my best friend's mind, and she's messing around with my boyfriend. I honestly believed I was now somewhat clairvoyant. Or at least warning bells and whistles would go off before something dire was about to happen. Boy, was I wrong. As I opened the envelope, I can't tell you my hair stood on end or chills chased down my spine. What I can state without any hesitation is that I was merely curious. Who expects to receive a blackmail note? But that's what it was. I collapsed onto my sofa. The note said, "Insurance fraud is a felony criminal offense. Before contemplating cashing in your missing husband's life insurance policy, you might try to discover where he is living or, at the very least, ask his mother. Should you wish the fact he's still alive to remain confidential, place $2,000 in unmarked bills in the waste bin on the corner of Main and Knox on Friday at 6 a.m. Or else." Or else what? Unanswered questions pelted me like a hailstorm. What kind of insane person would write a blackmail note like this? Who would want to blackmail me? Why would someone blackmail me? And most of all, was there a chance Dan was alive? And if he were, why would I want to keep it confidential? Were the law of attraction and my new affirmation working?